Tennessee at Alabama, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, CBS Game of the Week, third Saturday in October. You remember this time last year when I was trying to teach the younger children amongst us what the third Saturday in October once meant, and we had varying degrees of buy-in on that. Some people just said, nah, Tennessee will suck forever. I don't believe it. Well, then we went over to Knoxville, and Director Colin was there. I was there. About 70-some-odd thousand people ended up being right around us on the field. And before the sun came up, I had participated in taking one of the goalposts out and tossing it into the river. And whomst amongst us thought that I would ever be a part of that? Look at the goalpost just sinking down into a sea of orange. All that's missing is the Titanic music, and we couldn't get in touch with Celine Dion in time today for licensing. But man, you tell me you're going to see this on Sunday. You tell me you're going to see some random dude smoking a cigar surfing a goalpost out of a tunnel in Neyland Stadium. My guess is no, you won't find that on Sunday, but we sure did last year. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed revisiting last year. This year will be nothing like last year. I don't think we can invert the profile of this game this year to last year anymore if we tried. 52-49 was the final last year. No one's scoring 52 total in this game this year. In fact, the total's down to 48.5, started in the low 50s. I'd lean under even now, and that's not a great value bet at this point. Bama, I just don't think will do much in the run game here. Why would I expect that? It's kind of the same thing I said about Ohio State. They're not going to find their legs against Penn State. Well, why should I think Alabama's all of a sudden going to figure out how to run the ball more explosively against Tennessee? Tennessee's got a really good defensive front, so they kind of are what they are there. Alabama, Kubelik put it very well the other day. They're a run to varying degrees of success, sack, run for no gain, 70-yard bomb, pop play over the top. That's their offense now. And it's worked because they've got 38 plays of 20-plus yards. So that's how they're winning right now. It's not ideal, but it's how they're winning. Jalen Milroe, listen to this, by the way. This is crazy. Jalen Milroe, on throws of 20 or more yards in the air, is a 61% completion guy. 737 yards, 9 touchdowns, and no interceptions. All 4 of his picks have come on balls that go less than 20 yards in the air. I'm not talking about yards after catch now. I'm talking about throwing the football physically 20 yards or more in the air. He's perfect. He's perfect because if your guy doesn't catch it, no one's catching it because he can throw the ball out of the stadium if he wants to. I have real concerns, and this is going to shock you. I have real concerns about Alabama's offensive line. Gasp. They're 130th in sacks allowed. We could do this show 20 more years, and my feel on Alabama's offensive line this year will go down as one of the most regrettable feels that I've had on any position unit. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not going to go as far as to take the blame for it. I'm just going to say I got bad intel. So in this case, either a coach, a kid, or an official screws it up. Sounds like a coach screwed it up here. Not my fault. Anyway, in this game, Tennessee's defensive front's been nasty, and it travels. I have no doubt it will travel. They are 4th in sacks per game. They got 2 dudes. I mean, Pierce and Barron are both top 20 individually in the country in sacks. So Jalen Milroe's going to get hit. Jalen Milroe's probably going to get sacked. Now, that's happened a lot this year, and they figured out how to win games in spite of it. It's just, can you imagine a lifelong Alabama fan sitting at home in his or her recliner on a Saturday afternoon, and they know the Alabama way. They know protecting the quarterback, they know running the football, and they know slowly just bleeding your opponent to death. And this is what they're watching. Penalties all over the place, sacks, constantly behind the chains, can't run the ball to save your life. Had 23 total yards against A&M. Still won the game, though. Finding ways to win the game. I'm very interested on the other side to see Tennessee's ground game here, because I was ultra impressed last week when they ran it like they did against Texas A&M. Texas A&M, like I just said, held Bama to 23 on the ground. Tennessee had over 200 and 230, I think it was. Very impressive, and they have to do it. They can't throw the football either. Tennessee can't throw the football with any consistency. In case you haven't seen Tennessee this year, I regret to inform you it's not your Meemaw's Tennessee. They actually play defense this year. They cannot throw the football, in some cases, to save their life. And yet, because they can run the ball and play defense, they've been winning games too. They had 232. That was the number on the ground versus A&M. Last year, I was at this game. Neyland Stadium was about as incredible as any environment we've ever been in. Bryant-Denny Stadium going to feel like that Saturday? I've been at this game a number of times at these venues. Those folks get up for this game. You guys saw what a hostile road environment did to your team last year. Try and do it to them this year. What a novel concept that would be. Let's take a look at what the model thinks. Let's take a look at what Vegas thinks. The number in the desert as of 7:22 p.m. on Tuesday night is Alabama minus 8.5. We agree completely. The Pate State model has Bama minus 8. I think points are going to be at a premium in this game. So I am not laying over a touchdown. But I do think Alabama will win the game. I just think when I say Bama's going to win the game, it'll feel a lot like that A&M game where you find a way in a very, very ugly rock fight, back and forth kind of affair to win by a possession. And so I think Alabama will win. If I had to bet the game on the spread, I would take Tennessee. I am not doing that thing that I just said. I'm not betting on this game. And so, yeah, I guess survive and advance is the name of the game here. If Tennessee wins this thing now, if I'm wrong and Tennessee wins it, take a look at their schedule. They'd go to Kentucky next week, and then they got at Kentucky and at Missouri as their next two conference games, and then they'd get Georgia in there. Whomst knows? Whomst knows? We'll find out a lot this Saturday.